Hey, thanks for clicking on my video. I saw the report for the best-selling manga this year, and I wanted to make a fast video about it, and my thoughts on the top 10 manga this year. If you like this video, hit like. I recommend you to check out my channel, and if you like anything there, I ask you to share your favorite video and subscribe to the channel. So with that out of the way, let's jump in. So this has already been out there for a little while, but Oricon has revealed its rankings for the top 10 best-selling manga this year. There's definitely big three outliers on the top three that are, just gargantuan in their sales and trumping everything else on the list. But one thing I noticed is that what it's only top 10. What I would really love to see is almost want to see like a top 50 or at least a top 20, top 25, something like that. Because, I'm looking for more recommendations, stuff I haven't read before. And I've heard about most of these. There's a few of these on this list, like Kingdom. Kingdom came in ninth with 4.6 million copies sold, so that's something I never heard about before, and that's something, it actually looks pretty cool. Like, it's like right up my alley, something kind of historically based, lots of combat, maybe a lot of drama. I don't know what it's, so it looks like it could be really cool. That's something I never heard about. But let's start with the bottom list at Haikyuu, and that has 4.3 million, and that's pretty, I kind of expect that with, one of the sports anime to be in the top 10 or be up there, just because of how much sports anime manga is out there. And one thing during the Olympics this year, I discovered that actually volleyball is a huge spectator sport in Japan, so it makes sense that Haikyuu is the volleyball manga in this case, and it's on the top 10. Then we go to number 9, and I mentioned this before, Kingdom, 4.6 million. Yeah, it looks really cool. I want to try it out and see if there's any copies in English. I imagine there'd have to be if it's that popular. Yeah, that's probably one I might actually go hunt down and check out, and it's do some research, find it out. Next, in 8th spot is one I've heard about before and heard is pretty good. Spy X Family or Spy Family, 4.9 million. You can almost round it up to 5 million if you wanted to, 4.973. So that's, you can round it up if you really wanted to. 5 million copies. I've been itching to pull the trigger on finding some Spy Family before, but I just haven't done it yet. I don't read that much manga. I try to read much. If you go through my YouTube channel, you'll see all my manga hauls, and that goes back a couple of years already, and that's most of the manga I've read this in the last couple of years is everything in my manga hauls, which it's a good amount of manga, but it's not like an obscene amount. I haven't read that much. So Kingdom, Spy Family is something I'm gonna read, hopefully in the future, along with Chainsaw Man, which came in number 7, 5.2 million copies. That one, I think it's new-ish. I don't know how long that one's been running, but that one seems to be like just balls-to-wall crazy, freaky art style, freaky premise. I think one of my friends actually reads it and he likes it a lot. So it's something that it's up there with Spy Family, where I almost pulled the trigger buying it a couple times, but I couldn't find any copies like on RedStuff.com or anything like that recently to actually get that one. And then this has actually been shocking to a lot of people, but number 6 is One Piece with 7 million copies. I think it had a pretty big drop off since last year, which is kind of nuts because what I've heard of is that they're in the middle of like a really big arc right now, so it's kind of strange that there's such a big drop off. But that could be, people reading something else, or maybe most people are actually caught up, so who knows? Maybe a lot of people caught up recently in One Piece last year, and that's why there's such big numbers. Or this is one of the lowest years for One Piece recently, but maybe top contenders on this list, chewed some of its sales. That's probably one of the most controversial pieces on this list, is that One Piece got knocked down quite a bit. But you can still see it's still a strong 7 million, which is pretty competitive for the kind of the lower half of this list. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. And number 5 is My Hero Academia, which has been pretty much going strong for a long time. So that's just above what One Piece did at 7.02 million versus 7.00 million copies. So pulling just ahead of One Piece is My Hero Academia. And then Attack on Titan is number 4, which I've heard some good things about where Attack on Titan is headed. I've read the first couple volumes. I've watched like the first season of the anime. I thought it was good, but it was obscenely popular when it was new, so it was something I stayed away from just because of how nuts everyone else was going about it, and I usually don't follow the crowd when it's stuff that gets that popular, because I'll read it and I go, okay, it's just like giant zombies. It's a zombie story to me. That's what it, at least at first was, but I hear so there's some really good like conspiracy subplots, and it gets really So I'm actually gonna probably wait for Attack on Titan to be finished, and I think I'll buy the whole thing and read it because it is on my list. In the number 3 spot, and this is where things get interesting because now we're not only in double digits for sales, but we're in 20 million. Everything on this list, on the lower half of this list, I'll say, Attack on Titan goes from 7.3 million, and IQ goes down to 4.3 million. The bottom 7 on this list are in the 7.3 to 4.3 range, but the top 3 go from 30 million to 20, almost 25 million. You can round up, and the 3 spot, you can pretty much round that up to 25 million at 24.98 million copies. So if you round that up to 25, which is pretty fair, from 25 million to 30 million are the top 3, and which is, each of those alone is almost as much as the bottom 7 combined each. So it's pretty nuts that the top 3 did this so strongly, like so abnormally. But Tokyo Revengers, which I've only heard of a couple times, I never really, I don't know anything about it. I've probably heard that name a couple times here and there, but I haven't read it. Seems just interesting. Looks like it's kind of a story based on, like kind of a delinquent kids in, maybe Tokyo or who knows, wherever in Japan, and whatever's going on. I don't know the details of the plot. So that's number 3 spot. Number 2 is Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. That was surging in popularity last couple of years, and I think the movie just came out. I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with these super popular manga recently. I've been kind of reading my own things, stuff I'm into. But as far as I know, Demon Slayer is finished as far as the manga goes, and this year the movie came out, and that did well. I think even in America that movie did well, which is pretty nuts. So yeah, Demon Train came out this year, and that probably helped boost the numbers. But also being finished, a lot of people probably jump on it when it's finished, especially if it's slightly shorter, and so you can read the whole thing. So a lot of people must have been buying copies. And then number 1 spot is Jujutsu Kaisen at 30.9 million copies, which is a lot. And that's kind of been the big shonen manga for this year recently. I think I remember like earlier this year or last year, it like came out of nowhere and people were like really liking it. It got the anime. I haven't jumped into it because I've read a few shonen manga in my time already, so it usually takes a little bit more for me to get interested in something. It all depends. I'm always on the hunt for another good shonen, so I might check one of those 2 out on the top 2 here. Is just that usually it's always like supernatural powers, power-ups. Usually takes a little while to get to like a main story arc. There's always something episodic in the the first few volumes and stuff. So depending on how fast it is in the beginning, where you can just like get into some interesting storylines, that usually is determined how long it takes me to either get into or stick with a shonen manga. But I'm always on the hunt for a good shonen, so I'll probably definitely check it out, at least a couple volumes, boost those numbers, slightly myself. Why not? So yeah, that's the top 10 best-selling manga this year. Which one of these have you read? And do you have any recommendations? Which one should I check out? I'm thinking Tokyo Revengers, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. I've been wanting to read Demon Slayer or watch the anime for a long time recently. I just haven't gotten into it. I'm already kind of locked in with wanting to try Attack on Titan again. Should I keep collecting One Piece? Because if you look at one of my more recent manga hauls, I have gotten some volumes of One Piece. Should I read through all of One Piece? Because that'd be pretty nuts. Yeah, what's on this list? What catches your eye? Let me know in the comments. I'll always respond. So have a good day. See you guys later.